It is always a pleasure to talk to you. And I was watching the film yesterday, and although it is based on a book, this is a character you can construct from various sources. Is that the right impression?
Yes, I mean, in Maria Semple's book, which I adored and loved and ate alive, Bernadette is, it's an epistolary novel, so she's writing letters to a virtual assistant. There's doctor's letters, some of it as diary entries from her daughter. So you get a kind of an objective sense of Bernadette, but in the film you get a subjective sense of her. And I think there's a lot for not only mothers but also parents to relate to, you know, that sense of being terrified and full of rage at the mothers, you know, in the pick-up and drop-off line, and you know, it can be quite isolating as a parent, and I think Bernadette is the personification of that.
Yeah, and there's so many themes to talk about. But I was thinking of the architects first. Are you obviously aware of Zaha Hadid, and was she an inspiration in any way?
Oh, totally. I mean, Bernadette is not based on Zaha Hadid.
Of course not.
And I mean, her loss was greatly felt. But no, I thought I would actually be an architect when I was at university. I moved over from doing fine arts and economics to study architecture. My sister's an architect. You know, and there are many female architects that I admire. But the interesting thing about Bernadette is she doesn't call herself an architect. She calls herself a creative problem solver. And she's running away from creative failure. She had an extraordinary sort of revolutionary breakthrough design that went wrong because of a bad social interaction with a neighbour, and the house got demolished. And so her daughter doesn't even know what she did. Her daughter knows her as a stay-at-home mum with a kind of a bit of an agoraphobic, I can't even say the word, it's so terrifying. And so the daughter actually learns, her precious daughter learns sort of what she was once she goes missing.
There's so many themes to talk about, and one of them is about creative juice. And you know, if you are an artist and you don't channel your creativity, it might drive you a little bit mad.
Yeah, I think a lot of parents and mothers in particular, in the process of devoting and putting all your creative energy into bringing up your children, you often leave your other self, your adult self. You park that at the front door. And now that Bernadette's daughter is sort of potentially going away to boarding school, I think she's filled with an incredible amount of fear and grief, and she has to look at herself and work out who she is, you know, and who she might be, you know, in order to enter that next chapter of her life.
Does that exist, a virtual assistant, somebody that you...
I think so. I've actually got friends, not since they've read the book, they've kind of stopped the relationship, but a lot of people do things through algorithms on the internet. And, you know, it's terribly funny, but also tragic that the primal relationship in her life, the one that she says, you know, all of her fears to, is a virtual assistant called Manjula, who she thinks is based in New Delhi, but is in fact a Russian criminal cartel.
Yeah, exactly. Which, you know, brings the fun, the fun to the film.
Yeah.
And so does Antarctica. So, you know, where do you get to film those types of scenes? How much do you get to learn about?
Oh, well,
you know.
I am ice obsessed. One of my big sort of bucket list things has been to get on an ice-breaking ship and go to the Arctic or the Antarctic. And when I heard that this was happening, I just sort of said, please God, can I do this film? And then, you know, it's very expensive to go and do that. And so initially we were talking about doing it green screen, and I was so sad. But we did go to Greenland, and we did get caught in the storm, and the storm is on, you know, in the film. But it was extraordinary. I mean, when you go and you're up close and personal, not only with the icebergs, which are incredible, but with whales and seals, it's just, you do want to save the planet.